All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Vandal here. We are with a special Dow drops right now for the 26th of March. I've got with me Stacy Epps. She is a creative attorney, music business activist, and founder of Love Like Water. How are you doing, Stacy?
I am great. I am so happy to be here today with you.
Thank you so much, and I know that we've been chatting through Christopher Moye. So big shout out to Chris, Binary
Mhm.
Lawyer, for making this happen, and the amazing initiative that is going on. But first, before we get into it, I would like to just ask you to introduce yourself to everybody so they can know a bit more about you.
Okay. Again, I'm Stacy Epps, and I am a creative attorney. I'm an artist and an attorney. I've been dealing in music for 20 years now, creatively and in the music business side of it. My passion is helping artists get what they deserve and doing fair deals, bringing fairness into the music business. And recently started my nonprofit, Love Like Water, and we are committed to healing artists and water through immersive spiritual experiences, where artists can create on the water. So our goal is to do essentially like reciprocal work where we heal artists and then artists help with water service projects around the world. But when I learned recently about this water crisis going on in our own country, I was just moved to act because I was in disbelief, that people were without water, that people's houses were flooding, and it's all really a result of climate change and these terrible storms that are coming about now, where our country's infrastructure in certain areas is not equipped to deal with it. And that's the key, is that, certain more vulnerable areas, the infrastructure work is not being done. So there's no updates on the pipes and the water systems. So in essence, the pipes break, the water mains break, and there aren't the resources to fix everything and or update. So you literally have people going on 4 or 5 weeks that still have not had water. There are apartment complexes where there are porta potties outside. And this is in a situation where we're dealing with COVID as well. And those are vulnerable communities for COVID. So it's just a big, huge problem. But I've teamed up with an amazing nonprofit called National Clean Water Coalition. She did a lot of work, another woman-led organization. She did a lot of work in Flint with their water crisis that's still ongoing as well. And so we teamed up and we said, look, let's do something. So we decided to raise funds to send 5 trucks to Texas. And we've sent one so far with 17 pallets of water. And then we teamed David Banner and Big Crit and Monty Ellis and Mo Williams, and was able to send a whole truckload of 23 pallets of water to Jackson, Mississippi last week, which is over 4,000 gallons. We teamed up with an amazing organization called the People's Advocacy Institute in Jackson. They received and distributed all that water. It only took them 2 days to do. The need is there. So our next venture is the next truck to Texas. So we want to do Austin this time, and we're partnering with the Austin Needs Water organization, the Food Bank, North Central Texas Food Bank, and or I think it's no, it's not North, it's the Central Texas Food Bank, and then a councilwoman there, Vanessa Fuentes. And so we're like essentially just, we say we're hashtag united across state lines. I'm in Georgia, my partner, she is in New York, and we are just essentially creating partnerships and relationships in different states so that we can be able to respond to these issues. It's just heartbreaking to me that it's not covered in the news, so people have no idea. So when I talk to people, they're like, what do you mean, everything's fine, right? And then when you're dealing with people in entertainment, it's different too, right? Because artists get really wrapped up in their work and in their life of like they're creating. So a lot of times they're not up on what's going on as well either. So, it's just really important as for us to get the word out and just let people know there's an issue, because as I've been letting people know, people have been contacting me like, hey, I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, and my water's coming out white and it's full of chemicals. And I'm like, what? So it's like, and then someone else contacted me. Oh, our Native American, our reservation, we don't even have running water. So it's like, it's amazing because I was like totally focused on like, oh, these other countries, like they need wells. And of course they still do, but we're in a water crisis here as well. So I know I'm going long, but when I learned about when I learned about the NFT space, I was just super excited because it pushed my side of me of music business revolutionary, because that's what I am. I'm like, F the music business, the industry, how it stands, what it's built on. It's just BS. It was built on greed and without a care to what the artist wants or needs, because the artist was just looked at as disposable. Just sing the song we have for you. And that's from the start, right? And so the structure has not changed much at all since then. I mean, we're still doing deals where artists would get 15% of a stream, and we know a stream is less than a penny. Okay. So, so the NFT world was just like, oh my God, this can change everything. We can create ownership for artists. And, so anyway, it just really excited me on that side. And then with the water, I feel like we can do so much good through NFTs to raise money for, important causes. And so that was essentially the idea of working with artists and water, to create solutions. So right now we're having our NFT fundraiser, and thankfully DAOrecords has partnered with us. I'm so appreciative. And that's another thing I found through this work is like so many good people, that are willing to do the work, ready to do the work, and partner. And that's just the beautiful thing about it. So so we are accepting submissions now. And so it's gonna be on March 26th.
Awesome. Yeah, that quite the introduction. Amazing. You covered a lot of things that I did want to talk about. But maybe just to ask a bit more in detail, was there something that drove you to focus on water? Because being in the music industry and fighting for the rights of artists and as an attorney as well, where did water come into play? Like what's the story behind the creation of Love Like Water?
Well, I was doing, I love doing this music business work, and it's very important. But I was feeling something was missing. A lot of times with the music, it's just, it was just something missing. And so I did a lot of soul searching work, and I realized I'm a Cancer. I love water. I love everything about water. I love being in the water. I love swimming. I love being at the beach. I love drinking water. Like water is everything to me. And so I just realized like that is my passion. That is my issue that I want to help with, because I was always trying to figure that out. Like I know I had the music business and stuff like that, but I knew it was something more like for humanity and the people. And that water that's it, because water can heal you. Being by the water or on the water can change your whole energy and your whole vibration, And so with that, that's just what brought it to me. And I was like, that's it.
What can you tell us more about the water itself? Like, is there a particular type of water that you're working with? What are the pH levels? Like, maybe a bit more detail about the water itself, how it's packaged, and that stuff.
Yeah, so the water that we're actually working with, it is premium boxed water. So it has 80% less plastic. than say these plastic water bottles. And my partner with NCWC was very adamant about not using plastic. When she was in Flint, they would get donations of bottled water, but the Flint residents would get sick because the water was expired and all the chemicals that flowed from the plastic poisoned the water that the people were drinking. So, as you know, like with plastic, I learned so much about plastic water bottles that I did not know because would drink plastic water bottles and I didn't realize it took double the amount of the water that's in the bottle to make the plastic bottle that you're drinking out of. I mean, just so many things. So we decided to go with a company called W.S. Darley, and they actually do these box waters. They're 2.64 gallons per box, and it's premium water. It's not alkaline though, so it is premium water. It has a shelf life of 3 years, so it's actually a lot easier to transport because it's in boxes, right? Instead of the bottle pallets and all that plastic you're using and all of that. And then as well, we want to upcycle the boxes into gardens, and food can be grown out of these boxes. And another of my clients who is also a agriculturalist and a farmer is donating seeds so that people can grow stuff. So it's like a double kind of thing. So it's amazing, and you know that we're able to do it in a more sustainable way, and that's the key.
Yeah, thinking of, when you were talking about the box and reusing the materials, I was immediately thinking, well, maybe there's seeds attached to it, or you can get some
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a lettuce or greens that you can use to then use the box to grow. And I think that's a great, repurposing of the
Mm-hmm.
materials, which I think is very important because, we talk a lot about recycling, and you explained how much water it takes to make the plastic. And, these are things I think that a lot of people don't think about, especially when they're in survival mode, and they need access to things, and not knowing that what they're using could potentially be detrimental to their health, right? I also wanted to explore, some of the artists that you've already worked with, some of the musicians that you've worked with, say for the Jackson, Mississippi delivery, and some of the other things, and maybe you can give us sort of a sneak peek as to what to expect today on the 26th when people are watching this interview and here for the event.
Yeah. So we worked with David Banner and Big Crit to donate water to Jackson, Mississippi. So that's their actual hometown. So when I talked to David Banner about Texas, he said, well, I love what you're doing, but I can't in good conscience help Texas when my city is struggling and we haven't had water. And I said, okay, let's do it. So we made it happen. He sent us a partnership of an organization that could receive the water, and we got the funds together and did it, and it was amazing, and it was just easy. Like what he said we can make it happen. I have people there and we'll make it happen. But the problem with Jackson is that they have a $1 billion infrastructure issue, and so it goes so much deeper. I say it's kind of like what we're doing is like if your arm is hanging off and we like put a band-aid on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, people need what they need right now, and so that's key. But another key to what we're doing is working and building plans for how to build infrastructure and how to help. Because at this point, of course, you have to hold the government accountable for what they need to do. But at the same time, we have to do things as well, So, but as far as I've been reaching far and wide to get submissions, I'm looking at, Madlib has kindly donated some of his music. Um, Just Blaze has donated a drop. I'm actually decided to do a bunch of drops from people. So I am looking at like compiling like a long thing of different people. So I talked to Aloe Black, I talked to um, Pharaoh Monch, um, Amir Suleiman, who's an amazing poet, who's going to help me get more. hoping I can get some more people on board. I'm just, working day and night, neglected by other work, try to get people because I think it could be amazing what we can do. And we're gonna have a DJ from Twitch. I'm working on that. I can't say any names yet, but definitely we're gonna have that, and it's gonna be amazing. And I'm looking forward to it. The stream of support has been awesome. So I think we're gonna have a really nice event. But I've probably had about 10 or so submissions so far.
That's
So I
beautiful.
think,
And we've also tapped into the DAO Records community and the bigger crypto art community with the musicians in our network, and we've got a really good response. And as we see, like here, we're actually, of course, pre-recording this interview in advance. But what you're seeing on the walls all around you in crypto voxels in the space is the result of all this hard work and coming together and bringing the community together for this amazing cause, which I think a lot of people don't necessarily think about. Like, we do take our water for granted, especially in North America. And this is something I think that bringing attention to the situation, especially you spoke about the infrastructure, and that's really important because we can continue to provide the emergency band-aid solutions for those in need, but if we don't address the infrastructure problems, then these type of things are going to continue to reoccur. And I don't know if you want us to talk a bit more about that aspect of it and sort of like your
yeah.
future goals and what you want to achieve with all of this.
Yeah, because what we say is it's not if more emergencies are going to occur, it's when the emergencies are going to occur. So, we're building these networks. I'm essentially looking at building like a water council of organizations where we can just have a think tank and come up with these solutions. I know in Flint, the National Clean Water Collective has come up with, some solutions they're dealing with in-home filters. Like every house should have filter into their water line, like just no question about that. And so that's what different things like that we're looking at least on the home level. There are things you can do, but then there's just so many different levels, and because you have your city, then you have the county, then you have the state. So it's a lot of levels. But my thing is looking at innovative solutions, looking at what people are already doing, not trying to replicate everything, and having people work together with what their strengths are. We actually were contacted by an organization called Source, a company called Source, and they actually manufacture hydro panels. And so they're actually solar panels that can create water from the air. And it's like amazing technology. So I want to just really look at, these putting together the tech and the water communities to create these solutions. I know we can do it, like I'm late learning about this organization called Spatial Labs, but they really have blown my mind of what they can do. And so I just really want to see how we can take these cutting edge technologies and apply it to the water industry and, really just turn it around. My ultimate goal is to have my own Love Like Water. We have our own water. I want to have blessed water. I want to have different water for different chakras. I'm like really want to, have regular, like good, clean water, but also have specialty water, all in sustainable packages, because that's the key, and I think a lot of the water that we drink is subpar, like, and we just don't know because they don't have any requirements of reporting or anything like that. So it's like literally they're taking water out of hose. I remember you heard about that back in the day. I think it was Dasani, was that they found out they were just literally taking the water from a hose.
Yeah, or even repurposing the tap water. I know that some of the companies in water companies in Malaysia are doing that as well with the reverse osmosis. I think another thing that comes into play here is the education around water as well and the importance.
Mhm.
And you were talking about the blessed water, and it reminded me of this film that I watched, What the Bleep. And in What the
Mhm.
Bleep, there was the Japanese scientist who did these intentions on water and then looked at it through the microscope and
Yeah.
saw the changes in the structure of the way that the water molecules were shaped, and with the different words or intentions that were put on the water, and to think that, as humans, we're made up of a lot of water, right? And so the
Hmm.
idea behind blessed water and intentions, I think, really it brings that sort of spiritual and healing aspect back to it. What are your thoughts around sort of the educational aspects of, getting people to understand more about the importance of good water, of different types of water, what's good, what's not good, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, and actually his name is Masaru Emoto, the one that did that with the water crystal. I mean, it's beautiful to see. It really is. But that's the power of our vibration. And that's why I'm so drawn to music. And I'm actually a sound healer as well. I work with my tone, I do toning, and I also do um, crystal bowls and Tibetan singing bowls. So that's kind of my modality with the healing. And so everything is a vibration. So with whatever we do, we put a vibration into it. And there's a frequency, and so it's amazing to see, like even with the sand, when they play music on it and you see the, like, the patterns the sand makes. So yeah, it's oh shoot, I can't remember what question you asked me though. I just kind of went on a tangent.
Yeah, about the educational
Oh,
aspects
education.
around
Yeah.
water.
Okay. So I really think, I really want to focus on the youth because I think that's where it starts. And, I feel like I want to educate them on water because I'm learning so much just through this process, and teaching is a passion for me. So I feel like working with the youth, and having the youth understand and know the importance of water, the importance of drinking the right types of water, because it can be difficult. Like, because I was just thinking about them, like, when I buy my water, I buy it, I would usually buy it in like the gallon jugs, or and I'm like, that's just the same thing. And then now with all this knowledge, I'm like, okay, what kind of water is coming through my faucet? I don't really know. I haven't tested it on my own. So it's like things I feel like we need to know and understand about the water that we are drinking. And, how even if I drink alkaline water, how it feels different in my body. Like when I just drink it in, I can feel a difference from, say, a regular brand of water. So it's a lot of education around that. I mean, even knowing that, Nestle just takes water from Lake Michigan and bottles it. And like, it's amazing and incredible to me. So, education is key, education for the people. And I definitely, that's going to be a huge thing. And like when we work with the artists, we are going to educate the artists on these issues because the artists have the voice that people listen to, and they have that amazing power. And so that's why I really want to work with healing for artists, because artists give and give and give, and a lot of times can feel empty after a while because of so much giving. Because I felt that, like after a tour, and I'd be like, oh my God. And so I want to give back to the artists an appreciation for what they do while they simultaneously give and help in the water field. So, that's the vision and the focus.
That's beautiful. And you have the GoFundMe up. That's Clean Water for Texas, four with the number four. There's going to
Mhm.
be a link that you can click on the wall here in Crypto Voxels. So please do feel free, if you're unable to, participate in getting any of the amazing NFTs that are here in the space to support. You can always do that traditionally through the GoFundMe, with your credit card or debit card, or however you want to connect and support. That would be awesome. Is there any other ways to connect and to show support as well, Stacy?
Yes, just please share. Like I always feel like sharing is a huge way of supporting, that won't cost you anything but a little bit of time, and we appreciate that. And one more mission is at doing these NFTs. I feel like it will allow me to educate more people on the NFT world, and to understand what it is, and to help these artists set up. So with a lot of these artists, this will be their first NFT, so we will, it's kind of like providing them like an onboarding first experience for what you need to do. Okay, you need to set up your wallet, and there are things that, administratively that we will help them do, so I think it's good on both ways, it's giving on both sides, because when I'm talking to people I have to then explain what an NFT is and why, so it's like again, it's a mutual and reciprocal process, and with everything we do we want to make sure we're giving as much as we receive, and it's just like, reciprocal and balance on all levels.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do this and utilize all of our collective resources to make a difference. And I want to thank you for all the effort that you're putting in to this and connecting people and the music with the water. And this is such an amazing project, and I wholeheartedly support it. And I'm
Oh,
glad that all of the people who are here in the space and those who are watching this can also show their support as well, even if it's just being here and, like Stacy said, sharing, because that's the most important thing, is to connect the information to the people who might need it out there. So I guess before we end the interview, I wanted to ask you if you have any sort of you know advice or words you want to share with people out there before we close.
yeah. Really, my advice is, thank you. Just, I'm thankful, I'm grateful for the support that I have received, that we have received collectively, that the people have received, because in the end it's going to the people who need it. And we appreciate you, and just stay open and learning about water and what's going on with water, and I'll do my best to try to, well, not try, but provide that education and that knowledge to you around what's going on. So, please follow us on Instagram. I'm at Stacy Epps, and it's at Love Like Waters and at National Clean Water Collective. And we're just going to continue to do this work, and, stay tuned with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stacy. And for
Thank
everybody
you.
out there who are watching, please do explore the gallery, look around, to interact with each other, and let's raise some money. Let's do this.
Hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here.